All set? Cool. All right, and we'll start with roll call, please.
Rich Erickson. Tim Scarberry.
Here.
Chet Schultz.
Here.
Greg Burns.
Here.
Jill Troman.
Here.
Don Bunka.
Here.
All right, and I'll move right along to the approval of minutes for the March 13th meeting.
And move that we accept the minutes as written. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Who seconded that?
Joe. Me.
Joe?
All right, we'll move on to new business here. We'll start with appeal number 1. You could read the public notice, please.
A request by Richard and Patricia Cerna for a 20-foot front yard setback variance to build a new dwelling on their property located on White Lake Road, parcel ID 470410100014. Property is zoned LK1 Lakefront Residential, reference Tyrone Township zoning ordinance number 36, section 20.01 special regulations.
Everyone hear that okay? Hear that all right? Good. All right, if we could have the applicant give us a little verbal summary of what they're proposing to do, please.
You want us to come up there?
Sure, please. Normally we have the
Podium.
little podium there thing for you, but yeah. You can be relaxed.
All right, well,
We're
okay.
kind of a,
I'm getting.
And I'm Richard.
all right.
So we own a piece of property that is described, and we need to build, or we want to build, a retirement home there. And it's, we're within all boundaries, I believe, except we're asking for a variance from the easement, which is a 50-foot easement that services the drives.
We're just asking for a 20-foot setback so we could complete the house and dwelling. And we're kind of hemmed in by the sewer line that's down there, as we stated in there, so we have to stay 10 foot from the sewer line on each side of the sewer line. And we're just asking for that 20-foot setback so we can have an additional 15 feet to build our dwelling.
Okay.
And that's to accommodate the consumer's power lines there. Yeah.
So you state your unreasonable burden is the sewer line.
Yes.
There's an issue for you.
Sewer line goes across from the lake to the dwellings. So we're not on that.
All right, I guess I will bring it back to the board for any questions, any concerns that you guys might have. We'll go from there. No questions? No, all pretty clear? You got me right? Yep. All right. How about any correspondence,
Yes.
outside correspondence?
Two.
Okay. All right. We have one from Dennis Donovan. Is Dennis here?
They're in Florida.
There, he's in Florida. Okay, Dennis lives on White Lake Road, and are you sure this is the right one? This is the one that's asking about the driveway is questioned as a road.
Yeah.
That's
the
it?
correct one.
Okay. He says when he applied for a permit to build a standalone garage, he was told it needed to be a required distance from the driveway, and it was always referred to as a shared driveway. Yeah?
It is, it's a shared driveway.
GIS,
Yeah.
you pull up the GIS.
Where am I at here, Mary?
Sorry, Greg.
This one?
Raymond,
Oh, right here. All right. Ah, there we go. Right here. Okay.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
So his concern, so Dennis's concern is that because he's on the other side of the road, his view of the lake doesn't count. Closer the garage is to my house, the less he will see of the lake. His view is blocked. So if we look at,
May I ask a question?
yes,
What is his property zoned as? Is that a R1 or is it LK1?
LK1.
It is LK1.
Well, you can see where, I can't reach that one.
But this is Dennis's property,
Right here, correct.
yeah, and this is the East Shear Drive.
Right
This
here.
whole 50-foot here. And the garage that he was referring to, that he built, is here.
So he's already kind of blocking his view.
And he doesn't have riparian rights from that property.
Yeah.
That I'm aware of, and I'm researching.
Yeah, we just have the walking easement that's in between our current property and Rumkowski's property.
No, it's not.
It's in between Bronkowski's and our current
It's to the
house.
east of his property.
Right.
I thought the letter referred to a sightline issue, not access to the lake.
Right, it was mainly, yeah, that's what he's concerned about his sight line.
If somebody builds there, if we sell the property to somebody else,
Right,
you know, there's someone's gonna build.
right.
It's not gonna be a vacant property for very long. So that appears to me to be really a non-issue that,
His house was the last built in all three of those
in that area right there.
during that drive.
Okay, and you have this on file? You have that on file?
I have it over here,
Yep.
yep.
We also have another one that's your board members.
Can I ask a question?
Sure,
First, I'm absolutely certain that that letter refers to his sight line of the lake. He could look straight at the lake through
Right,
the open property. How tall is your garage going to be at the northernmost?
It says in here. It says,
Looks like the house would be taller than the garage.
The house would be taller than the garage.
right.
Sorry, can I chime in on the building?
Yep.
Is that all right if I chime in?
Sure,
The roof peak itself of the garage will be about 16 and a half feet tall from the virgin ground to the top of the ridge. Now, the main part of the house will be at a higher elevation because of the, we're doing a hip roof.
right.
So it'll be a hair higher, but, I mean,
But you'll be within code.
oh, yeah, it's a ranch with a walkout. I mean,
See, and I understand
What I was trying to get at
Dennis's
is,
concern.
when I look, Dennis's house is substantially higher from the lake level.
Right,
yeah.
I mean, he's up on top of a hill. And I was having trouble trying to figure out really what he was talking, or what we're talking about.
well, if you're looking from his property, he's already looking at,
He's gonna be looking down on your roof, isn't he?
or over it,
Or over it.
well, I don't,
We're not, you know, I haven't stood on his deck to
right,
really
right.
see that.
Well,
But
depending on where he's trying
his
to look at.
property
right,
is
he's-
already obstructed. The view is already obstructed from.
From this
the
house
houses that are
and this
already-
house.
Correct.
So
The only way you could build on this lot and not obstruct his view is to build it down low, you know, like closer to the lake, but then you're in the way of the sewer and all the other stuff.
exactly.
So, like I was on site, it looked like it made sense with how it was staked out to me.
I agree, I
Yeah.
agree. And I feel for his concern, but you should have bought it if you don't want somebody not to build
Even
it.
if they built their house and didn't get this variance, it's still gonna, you know, like make it a two-car garage.
They could
or
build a
whatever.
house without a variance
Without
and
a
block
variance,
his.
exactly, they could build a house without a variance, it's gonna block the view.
I mean, if they want
So,
us to build closer to the lake, then that's gonna obstruct several views.
That's why I'm moving
Everybody
on.
else's views.
that's why I'm moving on, okay? So I have another, unless you guys got another question.
No,
Are you all set?
that's satisfactory, yes.
Okay, okay.
That's a moot point.
Yeah, I feel for him, but, oh well, I mean, I got another one here, I own the house immediately to the east.
Yes.
You're here?
Yes,
Oh, beautiful, because I don't, oh, here it is. Are you Betty?
I am.
All right, Betty. You do not object to the house being constructed, the owner, you want to explain what you got here for me, and we'll use your words, rather than have me read it.
Okay. I don't think that the variance should be granted. They could do a two-car garage and not have a variance. It would not need a variance with a two-car garage. The way the houses are right now, they would all three be in line on the lake side and pretty close to in line on the roadside.
Okay. So in summary, what Betty's saying here for the board is, she's saying, for unreasonable burden, she's saying, well, the existing sewer line location is a burden, it does not prevent the applicant from building a home in a two-car garage. Substantial justice, she's saying the variance of justice to the applicant will not do justice to the other property owners. Three-car garage is out of character.
Excuse me, the house with the red roof has a 3-car garage as well.
Which your mother built.
This one right here.
Yes, that has a 3-car garage to it.
Okay.
As well as Dennis's property, he has 2 cars, garage attached to the house, and then the 1-car garage separate. Which is,
You know, living on a lake, you want to be able to store your jet skis and things like that. I mean, I suppose I could store them down at the lake,
or up in the front,
up in the front.
at the roadside.
You have a question or comment?
Yeah, my name is Larry Steff. This is my wife Tiffany. We own the red roof house they're referring to there to the west of
This
the...
right here, right?
Yes,
Yep.
yeah. So we have a 3-car garage, and the garage is oriented east and west, and it maintains the variance. So I guess to change the build variant or the build configuration, you can fit a 3-car garage still on that lot.
I disagree with that because we're hemmed in from that sewer line. If we didn't have the sewer line there, we could go further down towards the lake, but the sewer line is there, and it would be a major expense if they even let us move the sewer line. That would be a major, major expense to
It would be
do.
another burden to have another house plan drawn, so that's expense as well. When you're looking at a driveway that is barely seen from the road, and most people use that side of that shared driveway to pile their wood in and other things in front. And there is a shed right there too. That Betty, you own a shed that's right there.
I have a barn here.
Yeah,
She's got a barn
a
there.
barn. And it's right on the property line up, well, maybe a few inches.
Yeah, it's
from
2 feet, it's
where-
2 feet from our
from
property
our
line.
property line. And then, like, I don't know, Betty, how far is it from the,
I don't know,
Right.
that was put up years ago.
That's this right here?
That is, nope, it's up.
It doesn't even show on there.
It's right there. It's in that corner right where
Right,
it
right.
pencils
Oh, right here,
Okay.
okay.
So we're really not going past that.
I'm not going past that. I'm not asking to go past that. And it's not obstructing a view from, to the lake for any of those people. It's not obstructing their traffic pattern to their premises.
How far, Larry, correct?
Yeah.
How far, what's the dimension from here to here?
Sorry, I can't see where you're referencing.
From
Road
the,
line to your garage.
from your property line to the front of your garage?
I'd have to assume, I think it's probably the 35 feet. It's my guess.
It's right in that,
Yeah, because the stake they have for the current site plan now is, I want to say, roughly 15 feet-ish past the front of our garage currently. So I'm going to guesstimate 30 feet, 35 feet.
okay. Any other?
Well, one of the things I'm kind of thinking about is variances. You're supposed to have some sort of a hardship, really, for a variance, right? Larry brought up a good point. If you restructure where the garage is itself, sure, you don't want it the whole width, I understand that, of your house. But, you know, you could do a 2-car garage and having one still where you pull straight in. And if you're talking about storage for jet skis and whatnot, you can have where you pull in and you have 2 cars, but then one bay could be a little bit longer, right? So you can actually take that.
The actual property width there prohibits us from doing that. We thought about that, making it deeper
Okay.
to do
And
that.
if you do a tandem 2-car garage and put the other one in front of it, you're still gonna be pretty far out there. And we are going to not have windows, I mean, we're gonna have some windows, but we're not gonna have the light and windows that come from either side of the house, like the people on both sides of us will. We'll have the windows in front of the house and in the back, basically. So it just kind of makes it feel kind of enclosed, kind of.
If that sewer line wasn't there, we could move the house further towards the lake,
Yeah.
you know, by 15 feet. But that sewer line is there, and we can't, that sewer line is creating an undue burden for what we would like to do in terms of building there. I mean, that's our whole point, is the sewer line. If the sewer line wasn't there, or if the sewer line was 15 feet further, we'd have no problem.
I think if we didn't have the sewer line there and your house was proposed to be 15 foot further, we'd be having a sightline issue.
And then we'd be asking for a sightline variance, if that was the case.
I don't understand why it has to be a garage issue when it's a dwelling. You know, what if I were to put a bedroom up there, or, you know, ask for part of the house to go out that way, and then have the long tandem garage?
Well, I'm still looking at the variance from the property line forward. It could be a house,
Well, yeah.
or it could be a bedroom, a garage.
It's a structure.
It's a structure.
Right.
It's still within
Yeah,
the
that-
35, you know, you're asking for that variance. That's what I'm looking at. And again, you know, you mentioned storage of stuff. You know, if you're gonna put jet skis and whatnot in there, obviously you're not gonna pull 3 cars in there, right? You're gonna have room for your jet skis, so you can
Well,
have-
we do have 3 cars. We do have 3
Yeah, we're
cars,
close to 70, we're gonna be getting, how long are we gonna use a jet ski?
right?
I don't
You
know.
know, we do have 3 cars. We have 2 cars that we drive, and I have a
So-
classic car, so the classic car would be,
I-
And I would like to ask if there's a problem with our dwelling being so close to the drive.
Mhm.
Why was Dennis permitted, is his 35 feet from the sides? The side of that, or does that not matter?
Well, I don't know exactly what the side variances are. First of all, we're talking about a front yard variance.
Okay, all right, that's all then.
yeah.
But
And
I'm just baffled to why,
I don't know when this structure was built. I do not recall granting a variance for this.
for which one?
We're down
For this right here.
Yeah,
For Dennis's.
Yeah.
It was built by Strange.
no, it wasn't.
No.
No, it was
Dennis's,
not.
Dennis's.
Dennis's house was, but the
Dennis's-
structure, the.
By Carol?
A few years after
Yeah,
after Dennis built it,
right,
yeah.
after Carol built that.
But,
Carol built the house.
Yes, Carol built the house, and then another builder came and built the
Yeah,
garage.
and I don't remember ever, you know, I've been on this board for over 25 years, and I don't recall ever granting a variance for this, so.
And again, we're
This
not,
was built,
well, I'm sure he probably got his variance or something. He said so in his letter, so.
he just built it.
he just built it.
But
Sounds like Carol.
it doesn't sound like him, but,
I don't remember, and it's not to say there wasn't, I mean,
yeah.
I don't make every meeting, right?
You know, we're not trying to go any further than the barn that is on Bronkowski's property.
Did anyone drive by, do they know what we're talking about? We're talking about just a blacktop driveway that,
And we're giving consumers all the right of way that they really need to go and do anything with the gas line, because they already came in and moved the gas line, because the gas line actually went across our property, and consumers had to come in and move that, and put it on their easement where it should have been. And there was no problem with them coming in there, so they never even encroached upon the full 35 feet. They just used 10 foot of what that easement is there.
But you could build a 2.5 car garage and not need a variance at all.
Well, we currently have a 2.5 car garage, and it's small for our purposes.
with,
It is.
with the turnaround, we have less turnaround to do that. I mean,
In terms of moving it out that way.
Yeah.
Because we'd have to take our cars, and it would be, if we made it 2.5 car in a deeper garage, then we have problems backing out and getting into that area there where the garage is. Because we looked at that, we explored that, all those possibilities with the house designer, and we looked and looked, and we were trying to do the best we could and not really impact anything. I mean, look, we tried to make sure that our house was in line with the existing houses, so the front of it, so we didn't interfere with anybody's view of the lake. And there is no really view of the lake from that front yard setback.
All right. Is there any other comments or questions from the, yes, Larry?
Yeah, I had, so just one other one, I was referencing 125.3504, section 4A. And this is in regards to safety, so it says, basically the setback needs to be appropriate in terms of safety, and then the land, it has to take into consideration the landowners immediately adjacent to the proposed land for use and activity in the community as a whole. I think the concern I'm trying to express here is that from an emergency services standpoint, if I ever call the fire or ambulance, they're never gonna know I'm behind that house. They're gonna come up that drive in the way that it's plotted out, and mind you, the blacktop cuts the corner right now. If you stand in front of my garage door and look right, you'll never see them coming. They'll never know I'm back there.
Even with a 2-car garage, they're not gonna see his house. They will not see his garage even with a 2 or 2.5 car garage. So that's, to me, it's a moot point in that regard. Because it's 50 foot, that whole easement area there is 50 foot from that property line over, and there's not being used 50 foot. There's only, what's being used there is approximately 12 foot of pavement. And that's it, out of the total 50 foot.
And that's right here.
Yep.
Where my.
We're right in there. The blacktop is there, they're only using like maybe 12 foot, maybe tops 15,
no, it's
10 to 12.
and it's tree lined, you know.
All the way to back across Dennis's rear setback is all trees going across that property line there. So there's actually trees on the easement and on his property.
They would, there's an address.
There's a fire truck up there, so.
I mean, if you're,
Exactly. That's
That's
the
the
key.
only thing.
Yeah, it's-
I mean, if a fire truck can't get there, then it's a safety
Yeah,
problem.
but
It's-
a fire truck could get there. Hopefully, we never have to have a fire truck come. That's our main goal.
Heaven forbid, yes.
I have a picture if you'd like to see what I'm referring to. Don't we bring it up?
Sure.
So this is from the garage, and sorry, it's black and white, I ran out of coloring, but you can see from the garage, then the arrow's pointing at the post where the proposed building. You see, if you clear Dennis's garage that they're talking about, you'll never see the house back there.
I don't think it's so much about a site of the house as it is a fire
Access.
access, getting in there and being able to move and turn around and leave. That's honestly.
There's no way to turn around.
There's no way to turn around.
The land slopes off.
Existing, there's no way to turn around. Existing. All of the people that come in with heavy equipment, like Larry just had some heavy things come in there, they all had to back in there.
Yeah.
Or they've used our property to back into it, and it's
Right.
like,
And we have allowed that. We've allowed them to use our property to,
what is the
because before
difference
building.
between me extending my garage out or putting trees up? Landscaping. I mean, there are addresses on the houses, and is a 50-foot,
It's a 50-foot easement drive.
And you're not encroaching on
And we're not encroaching on that 50-foot easement drive one bit. The only thing we're asking for is a 20-foot setback for Consumers Power, because Consumers wants the 35-foot setback. And they've already been there and they haven't used the full 35 feet. They've only used 10 foot to move the gas line. And that's the only thing underground there is the gas line. All the electrics is above ground, and AT&T has recently put their AT&T line above ground as well.
I mean, we made sure the front that it didn't obstruct anyone's view to the lake, their side view, and
All right, is there any other questions or comments? Any other questions or comments?
Larry's got his hands up.
Sorry,
I missed it.
I didn't know if we needed to present or whatever. I had just another question about the lot being buildable as well. So I don't know if you want to handle that as a separate issue. I'm looking at the square footage of the lot based on the zoning grid for LK1, and it says it's 21,780 feet. Right now, they're at 22,129 square feet. If you include the sewer easement, 10 feet north and south from the east and west property line, that would be considered part of that area. And your footnote W to that table, 20.01 table, specifies specifically you can only include that area in the lot size dimensions if the total is 10 acres or greater. It's not. It expressly states that you can't include it, therefore they don't have 21,780 square feet, therefore it doesn't meet the minimum standard for the size of the lot to build on.
Is that for LK1?
That's for
Well, number one, this board, we don't, that would be a land use permit and the building permit from the county. And the land use permit from our zoning board here. We're here to just look at the variance,
Okay.
the variance request.
That's right.
I'm not saying you're right or wrong, I don't know.
Understood. Do I
I'm
take
looking
that-
just at the zoning,
Do I take that concern up at a different time or a different meeting?
with our zoning board.
Okay.
They grant the land use permit based on it meeting all the other criteria.
Gotcha.
If we grant a variance. Any other question? Yes?
Yes, Betty is my mother-in-law. In looking at variances, your board needs to consider, obviously, a practical difficulty. And yes, the easement is a burden to that property. Again, a need and a want. If, for instance, he needed, for a garage, let's say his lot didn't provide him the opportunity to have a garage, and and he needed a 20-foot setback to have a garage, to have the same, enjoy the same privilege that his neighbors do. That's one thing. I could understand that. But when you're asking for, you could make a 2 or 2.5 car garage. 3 seems to be excessive. Consumers Energy, I don't believe, has a 35-foot easement. I've not seen the tire work, but typically that's a 6 to 10-foot easement that they want for a private service. Again, they have to demonstrate a practical difficulty. I don't think they are providing that. Again, if it was precluding them from having a garage, sure, I would think that would be, the ordinance would be unnecessarily burdensome. But in that particular case, I don't think so. That's just my thoughts.
Yep, thank you. All set? All set at the board. If we are, I'll entertain the motion.
I move that we grant the variance for this property.
I'll second it.
Who seconded?
All right. You get it? Don Bunker? Tim?
Tim.
Okay. We'll have a vote, please.
Tim Scarberry,
Yes.
Chet Schultz,
No.
Joe Troman,
Yes.
Don Blanca,
Yes.
Greg Carnes.
No. Passed.
Thank you very much.
All right. All righty.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Moving on to appeal number 2, please. I take it you're Mark.
I'm Mark. Stay alone.
Lucky guess. Well, it really wasn't a guess.
So, where's your entourage?
I guess you don't have many people opposing you, apparently.
That's nice.
I don't think we have anything written either, do we?
Yes.
For what?
For opposing him.
Oh,
Not that I can ask for that yet.
not unless you want to oppose yourself.
All right, will you read appeal number 2 for us, please?
Yes. A request by Mark and Angela's Jackie for a 233-foot variance from the required 250 feet between an accessory and a principal structure in a front yard location to build a new outbuilding located at 13062 Samuel Lane, Benton, Michigan 48430, parcel ID 470436300025. The property is zoned FR, farming residential, reference Tyrone Township ordinance number 36, section 21.02.B2D, accessory building and structure provisions.
Okay, Marion. You might have to help me get out what
Are you looking for the GIS?
yeah.
You could pull in GIS, you can only bring up one at a time, so go ahead and click them. That's where the original one was. I did stick that in. That was
Okay.
the first one from last year that you approved. But you're gonna wanna go back to that other,
This right here.
I can speak to
Go
that
to
if,
the
that's helpful.
Right
And
here,
then click the.
I think you'll have an opportunity.
GIS.
right here?
The bottom one.
You were here last year, weren't you?
This is a saga for
And then do it
me.
again where it says viewer.
Yes.
perfect
You
view.
gentlemen saw me last year
Yes.
and did grant me a
And then
variance
from
last
there, you're
year.
gonna type in the address and it'll take you to.
Right
And
here.
we just ran out of time, had to start over.
Okay.
No, things got very complicated very quickly.
Oh.
What am I at? Oh, 13.
062.
Like I said, and give you some background.
Why don't we wait until everyone's ready to hear you? But
Yeah. Hang on a minute. Let's get to where we want to
That
go.
would be-
You can X that, yes.
There we go.
Yep.
Okay.
So, secondly, I had a PowerPoint up that, is that possible to get that back?
Where did I have that? Not there.
Up top tab at the left, top tab, nope, just get out of that. Top tab to, over, yes,
Yeah,
there.
that's it.
There we go.
Okay, so background is that I have 26 acres and the house is literally built at the apex of rolling hills. The ground slopes off dramatically in each direction from the house, not too dramatically to the west, but every other direction quite a bit. Our house has no basement, we have no storage in our home. It's been difficult for us, so we want to build a 30 by 60 building, and the ground again sloping off very bad in every direction. I wanted to put the building here, it's virtually impossible. If I put the building here, there would be probably on the order of 4 to 6 feet of foundation above.
Too much
ground.
grade right here, right?
Yes, very high grade. So we came up with the idea of putting it here, because that would work nicely with the driveway, and it ended up with about a 3 to 4 foot elevation change from this point to this point. And originally, I had a contractor say, yeah, I can do it. You guys gave me variance for it, and we started, and he was not able to convince the permitting department that he had a viable solution. The foundation became very high out of the ground, very complex, and he worked with them for about 6 months, going back and forth, trying to come up with ideas, working with my building manufacturer, was unable to come up with a reasonable solution. So we ended our relationship. I went out for other bids. Nobody would touch this foundation. It was just too complex. I got multiple no bids, and I got one bid for $85,000, and that's just for the foundation, which was just very excessive. So we go to
the other one that we granted you before was further to the south, right?
Yes, it was 44 feet in front of my garage. And now I'm asking if we go to the next sheet, and scroll down a bit. So I keep going.
That's it. Yeah, I know.
The new one's in your packet. It would be on the screen with the
Keep
minus
going this
out
way.
of those screens, and you'll find the.
What's that now?
Are you looking for the new one like this?
Yeah.
It's within his application, which is
Yeah.
on the home screen.
Keep going this way.
Nope.
Oh, right.
No, that one. Accidentally?
Minus out of the screen. And then go to, see, I'm looking behind you, it says Jackie.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Bear with the computer illiterate here. All right, just scroll down on this.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, good.
Ah,
So the proposed building, when I asked for variance last time, was here. And what I've done is I've put it here. Now, it's approximately 17 feet proud of the garage to the north And then I'm offsetting it about 17 feet as well to the west of the house, or to the garage. And this area is about the flattest part of the ground around my home. It also slopes significantly, but I can get heavy equipment in here, and I can flatten the land here because I have a lot of room to sort of, work the land and make a flat area. And then I got a more traditional foundation. This is steel building, so it requires a different foundation like a pole barn. It actually has to have some.
That's what I was wondering, what, the foundation, it's not a pole barn.
It's a steel building built on columns, so the columns.
So we have to have piers.
Yeah,
Yes, it's piers.
and they have to be what, like 3-4 feet
36 inches.
down?
Well, below frost line.
Yeah, so 36 plus, yeah. Okay.
So it would be, basically just be 12 piers, columns, and a rat wall with flat foundation. When they tried to do poured walls up high, there was no way to pour the walls up high and then put a traditional, 4 to 6 inch
Footing.
thick flat work on there and made the two. And they were just killing me with like rebar and all kinds of, they wanted to bring all kinds of equipment in to shore it up.
Why couldn't they couldn't backfill it?
I mean, I had.
Well, just if they backfilled it, they'd have to have the piers be 12 feet tall. Because you can't build on new soil like that.
Yeah, no, it's gotta be virgin soil.
Right.
Yeah, I had 5 different contractors.
Okay.
And I could have gotten it done, and it would have been in excess of $50,000 just to get started.
Just to get the,
And, well, to be very fair, after we kind of hunted and we look at the building here, this is our backyard. This is our deck, and, this is just, it actually works really nicely with the way the land just naturally wants to be. We come up the driveway, we have a little drive coming in for our cars, my farm equipment and whatnot. It actually, I don't know why we didn't think of this first, it's a much better location for us. But it would require us to be about 17 feet into the front yard.
Further to the west than what we originally approved.
It's to the west, yes.
I mean, the line moves,
I originally, very.
I'm sorry, it moves north then.
Yeah, last time it was 44 feet proud, now I'm asking for 17 feet proud. So I'm asking for less of a variance in terms of
that's, yeah, it's less than what we granted.
Yes, but to be really fair, the
It's-
part of the
it's
variance.
less than what we
This one's
granted.
down there.
Right.
This one's gonna be over here somewhere.
All I
Right.
remember is getting on the property going, God, I wish I could hunt this.
Yeah, and it looks like he's asking for less than what we granted.
I think he is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I truthfully don't have
No.
any questions. Do we have any outside correspondence?
No.
No objections?
Are you buying an American Steel building? Is that what you're getting?
It's Worldwide Steel. I've already purchased the building.
Oh, gee.
You purchased the building?
Well, lumber was going like this. Steel was going up slowly. I felt like I had to jump in. Now lumber is tanked in comparison. I got an expensive steel building now.
Well, I'm going to bring it back to the board for a motion, guys.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Let's have a vote here.
Can you make that motion? Tim Scarberry,
Yes.
Chet Schultz,
Yes.
Joe Trumbull,
Yes.
Todd Bunga,
Yes.
Rick
Yep.
Burns.
All right,
Thank you for being patient.
yeah.
We want to come to the party.
Right.
Can I just ask a general question? I do this paperwork, these drawings for you, and I put numbers on here, like I'm asking for 17 feet. I'm an engineer, I've never put a single dimension on a drawing in my career. There's always a tolerance. I mean, the reality is you get out there, you start running lines, and you do these things. What's the tolerance? I mean, if I ask you for 17 feet and I come out and it's 16 feet 2 inches, I mean, when is it unreasonable? Is it I realize that there's a character associated with the variance, right? That we're asking for something, but it's a real world, and when you get out there, you start laying buildings out and stuff like that, you either miss or something happens, you're like, oh, she's got to move that a couple inches. You know, it's the real world. When is it a problem?
Well, as a die maker, 5/1000ths of an inch is mine.
Yeah, I was a contractor for a lot of years, and so like there would be times where like, let's say you were building, so I don't know what the code is now, but like, if you're building a garage that's detached, but it's within 10 feet of your house or something, then it's gotta be all fire rated, drywall or whatever. So like, if I was dealing with that, if I had a 10-foot deal, I didn't even try to do that. I did 10-6, or, you know, I always gave myself, because just what he said, they do get shifted a little bit, so I, you know, just always err on the side of a little extra.
Well, that's like, I'm not even sure which way I would have asked for that. Like, me, what I would have wanted to do is say, I'm asking for a variance 15 to 20 feet, or, you know, something like that, but it was recommended to me to put a number down.
Yeah.
And I just want, like, I'm not holding anybody to it, but just like, you know, what is within the character of the variance?
The reality is, without a foundation survey, we're never gonna know.
Yeah, and when you were talking with Ross, when you applied for it, didn't he tell you to maybe ask for a little more than what you really need?
Yeah, they said basically try to be as accurate as you can, and I had this conversation.
Right.
And at the end of the day, they said, just try to be accurate. So I tried to be accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like Tim was saying, I mean, if you're a couple of feet one way or the other, chances are it's, unless you're on somebody's property line,
Yeah.
you're in your case, you could be a couple of feet one way or the other, and I don't think anybody's gonna care.
Yeah.
I also think that the deviation increases with the size of the property.
Yeah.
So with the size of property you have right now, you can be a long ways, but the guys right in front of you, you know, a couple inches is a big deal to everybody.
Oh, yeah, it's all proportional. Exactly.
Well, I mean, I don't want to like try to skim by and not get caught. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to be up front and just say, hey,
Yeah.
that's the real world. You know, I'm out there with a tape measure trying to say, hey, this is where I think is the best spot. But now we have a contractor come in with an excavator, he's gonna start moving ground and stuff, and they're gonna start shooting lasers and get down to the, you know, match behind.
Yeah.
And they might go, geez, it's gonna be a lot better if we move this, you know.
6 inches this way,
Yeah.
a foot that way.
I think the answer is within the reason of the character, or the character of the variance that I'm asking for is a good way to think of it.
There are a lot of properties that are built even today where the foundation is on the wrong property.
Yeah.
I think with 29 acres, you have a long ways to go before anybody complains.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's zoned FR.
Yeah.
On top of it, I mean, come on.
Like I
I'll be out there
said,
October 1st to check it out. You do that.
Or October 15th.
Yeah, I'll give
Both
you
of those guys.
Thank you very much for your time, appreciate it. Much appreciated.
All right, Mark. Do we have any other old business, new business? You gotta,
Do I come to the office to get paperwork? Is that how that's normally?
Yes.
Thank you.
yep, you'll see Ross and get your land use permit.
Perfect, thank you.
All right. I guess any new applicants for next month?
Yes.
Already? Two?
Yes.
Oh, man. All right, well then, we'll see you guys next month. I'll move to adjourn.
So as soon as the camera's turned off, I do have a question for you.
Okay.